Morning, everyone. I would like to introduce our guest speaker today. It's Dave Cott and Angela Cott, and they are from Autism at Face Value. So we welcome you. And our students of the month from York Tech, Doug Rudd brings in Ginger Day and her parents, Valida and Frederick. Did I say that right? Okay, good job. And Abigail Rice with her mom, Miranda Yost.
Thanks, Sheriff. We all could give our guests and speakers a nice warm welcome. Welcome to York East. And our 50-50 drawing, it looks like Connie's going to take care of that. What were the last, just read the last three numbers. We probably don't need all of them. 606. Looks like right over. Congratulations. Chris, I don't want to overrun things. If you want to do, when do you want to pick up?
I can pick up now because I actually have some happy dollars.
No. Okay, we'll move on to.
Happy dollars.
We can't hear.
You can't hear me?
Barely. I understand. We're going to look at doing happy dollars. Does anybody have any happy dollars this morning? Share.
Yes, I'm very happy today because Commissioner Wheeler is rounding up one of the 250 bells. They're fiberglass bells, and we'll install one at the Gold Star Garden, and that is going to be painted by one of the brilliant local painters who comes through Creative York and paints at the plein air at the garden every year. So I'm very excited about that.
Thanks, Cher. Anybody else?
Let's do a test. Can we hear Chris through the speaker now? Chris?
Can you hear me? Good, happy dollars. Congratulations, Cher.
Go ahead.
Congratulations, Cher. That's great news.
That's me.
Any better?
Go ahead now.
All right. Congratulations, Cher. That's great news.
Okay.
Better?
Yeah. Can you guys hear Cher all right? Or can you hear? Okay. We're going to try something else.
Are you ready to roll?
Just about. Give me a minute.
Okay.
While they're figuring that out, Nate has some happy dollars.
I'm sorry. Are you? I was going to get mine now. No, we'll do happy dollars. We'll do 5 happy dollars. I started my new job at the YMCA last Monday, and so far so good. It's an exciting new adventure for me. I've been with that for 12 years, so happy to be on board with good things for our community.
Thanks, Nate. You have to get that out.
Did I see another hand? Lisa. Our winner of our 50-50 is happy this morning.
That's exactly it. So happy to have that.
Nothing else? You want to add anything else?
Maybe happy to just get a little warmer this week.
I think I'm muted. Yep.
Anybody else any other happy dollars?
I do, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Unmute her. Mute that one and then mute her. Go ahead.
So I have 2 happy dollars. Yesterday there's construction 2 houses up the street, and there was a fox in the front yard. So I don't think I've ever seen a fox or a coyote. They have both down here. So that was kind of cool. And the other happy dollar is it's finally going to start warming up here, and as it is up there. So I don't think we're all ready for bikinis, but it is nice to have little bit warmer weather.
Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, we can hear Chris now, I think.
Did you hear the happy dollars?
We have got.
Unmute that. Now try.
Okay.
Yep.
We hear now.
You want to move on?
Try her now.
Can I start with club history? Today is Club History Day.
If this is down here, it should work. I think you're getting it. I turned this off.
Try again, Chris.
Okay. Should we start with club
Oh,
history?
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay.
Come on.
That's all right. We should probably move on.
Go ahead.
All right. Shall we start with club history?
Yes.
All right. For many years, Wendy Cassie Anderson was in charge of our semi-annual road cleanup. She's not sure when we actually started that process, but she does remember during her tenure, finding porn and a cigarette pack with money in it. A couple of years ago, Nate Tile was on duty and found 2 stolen wallets. He was able to track down the owner of one of them, who facetiously asked, "What have we been doing?" It was stolen a few years prior. All right, I'm going to hold off on announcements in the sense of time for birthdays and anniversaries, so you'll have to tune in next week. Membership drive, I'd like to call Nate up.
All right, good morning,
Everybody.
You may remember last year we did a kind of an open house membership drive over in the other room. We're going to be doing that again, as I'm sure you all know, on April 28th. So I have updated the membership application, the kind of one pager we give people to let them know what Rotary's all about. And we've updated a spreadsheet on a Google Drive for folks to add prospective members. So look for an email coming soon that should give you instructions on how to add your prospects. We'll make this easy for you. We'll give you some canned verbiage that you can use to send emails to invite people. But this should be an all hands on deck project to help us grow the club. So appreciate your help in advance in recruiting new members. And by the way, you don't have to wait until April 28th. If you want to bring somebody as a guest, bring them. Thank you.
Thank you, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
Out.
It's done.
Okay, so we just need to have it emailed out to the members. Good, and then we'll have a paper copy that's going to be here as well.
Correct.
Okay, super. Chris, I'll let you go.
All right. Safety Town Committee meeting is later today at 4:45 for committee members. It's over at the firehouse. And we'll have a golf committee meeting that is scheduled for February 20th at 2 p.m. and that one's going to be held by Zoom. Another date to keep in mind is the District Learning Assembly, which is on March the 14th. It's in the morning from 7:30 to 12 at Messiah College. It's a great opportunity to learn more about Rotary and how it works. These are very well done. I have seen them in the past and participated. Cost is $25. I hope as many people as possible can join me. Anybody can come to a district learning assembly. You don't have to be a board member, but we'd love to see as many participate this year as we can. And the district conference is April the 17th through 19th. That's at the Wyndham Gettysburg. More to come at a later time. All right, I think that's it. Does anybody else have an announcement for the good of the cause?
Yes, we have Tim Kohler.
All right, Tim?
Tuesday is Rotary JA Day. And I will be there. Karen Comrie, Lou Lappington. Is anyone else? Yeah, Karen, Lou, me. Oh, and Chris Izzo. Chris Izzo, that's right. So it's all Rotarians. So all the clubs in the area are going to be represented. If you haven't ever done JA Biztown before, it's a great opportunity to mix with kids and help them learn financial information.
Perfect.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay.
Anybody else, any other announcements that need to be made? Okay, Chris?
All right. Well, I think we are ready to turn it over to Students of the Month. Todd, you want to come up?
Good morning, York East. I'm thrilled to be here today. This is our final makeup of our students that we missed in December. So in 2 weeks, we'll be back with all 3 schools, but this is our final December makeup. We're going to jump right in. So it's York School of Technology. We'll start off with our junior, Ginger Day. If you want to come on up.
Good morning. Thank you for having me today. My name is Ginger Day, and I'm a student at York County School of Technology, and I'm in the Teacher Development Program, where my high school experience has been shaped by leadership, service, and a strong passion for education. One of my most influential parts of my school experience has been my involvement in FCCLA, where I currently serve as chapter president. I have competed at the national level twice, once in Seattle, Washington, and once in Orlando, Florida. Through FCCLA, I regularly volunteer at fundraiser events, including bingo and food sales, where I often work harder to make more money to support other members to pay their membership dues. I also make it a priority to help and support all of my other chapter members through their projects and whatever they really need. These experiences have taught me responsibility, teamwork, and to lead with empathy. I am also vice president of my Educators Rising chapter, which have further confirmed my goal to become a teacher. In addition to my leadership role, I was selected by my shop teacher to represent our program through open house and career camp because they believe that I would be the best fit to support and encourage students to join the program. During these events, I introduced 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to the program, and at career camp, I designed and taught a gamified lesson. Being trusted with this responsibility has showed me the importance of mentorship and reinforced my passion for education. Outside of school, I work at Suburban Bowl-O-Rama in the snack bar, where I interact with customers, manage orders, and communicate with the kitchen staff. This job has strengthened my communication skills and taught me how to stay organized and calm in a fast-paced environment. Academically, I have earned 10 distinguished honor roll certificates and been nominated for Future Leaders of York. My commitment to education also extends in the community. I attended the Future Educators Academy at Millersville University this past summer, where I assisted reading specialists and worked one-on-one with students to build their literacy skills. I also volunteered at events like the Buddy Walk and hosted a community event called Fall Fest to encourage family engagement. After high school, I plan to major in early childhood or elementary education to become an elementary school teacher, ideally teaching grades 1 through 4. I want to create a classroom where students feel supported, confident, and excited to learn. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunities I have had, and the scholarship would help me continue my education and work toward a career dedicated to serving others. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Hope?
Does the school still have the child care center there, and do you participate in that?
Yes, so the shops this year separated so you could pick, but you still learned all of the education birth through 12. But now we're going back together, so it's every semester. So you'll get half of your high school experience with the infants and the younger children, and then you'll get half your high school experience with older children like 4th grade or 6th grade.
Want to explain centers for that?
Oh, centers is where we take a field trip basically every other day. So because of our A-day, B-day schedule, we have 2 blocks of shop one morning where we go directly into the center classrooms and work one-on-one with students in classrooms, supporting teachers and creating lessons and teaching them.
Out of the switch up. Okay. You can go. Thank you very much, Ginger. All right, next up is our senior, Abigail Rice.
Hello, everyone. My name is Abigail Rice, and I'm a 17-year-old senior enrolled at York County School of Technology. I'm part of the communication technology pathway at my school, and it has led me to finding my passion in filmmaking. I have maintained a 4.0 GPA throughout my 4 years at York Tech, and I have been earning Adobe certifications in Photoshop and Premiere Pro. Throughout my 4 years, I've made many short films where I directed and wrote the scripts, and I consider myself a filmmaker now. I am also the president of Women's Empowerment Club in my school, which has taught me many valuable lessons. I'm a member of the National Honor Society, and helping members of my community makes me feel connected to my home and myself as a person. I feel better knowing I'm an active member of York County. What has led me to becoming the president of Women's Empowerment Club was actually chance. I was one of the only members, and from that, I took a leadership role in a position I knew was important for my community. As acting president, I have led many thoughtful conversations from equity to mindfulness. I recently led a feminine product distribution for packages in each classroom of my school, so people with menstrual cycles can easily access packages without stress. I am the most proud of the growth of that club. We went from 2 members to 10 in only a couple of years. I feel the most accomplished being part of the truly wonderful conversations that happen in that club. I'm also part of the International Baccalaureate Program, IB, of my school as well. These classes are more difficult, but overall, I have only seen growth in my abilities as a learner. IB has also brought me closer to my heritage. I am learning German as a part of the language development requirement, and recently learned I have a lot of German ancestry. As a result of the IB program, I have found my love of volunteer work. I have volunteered about 30 hours so far throughout my last 2 years as an IB student, and any interaction I've had with volunteering has brightened my day. From the kids I painted alongside at the National Honor Society kinship dinner, to the landscaping workers I worked with to pull the weeds off the Cador's Creek, all of them have mattered to me. And lastly, I would like talking about my filmmaking passion. I've always been a storyteller. As I grew up, I had to accept the possibility of having to settle in a job where storytelling would be a secondary skill, and that possibility scared me. When I found the communication technology pathway at York Tech, it showed me my far-fetched dream as real and reachable. I didn't have to settle in a job that isn't satisfactory to my passions. I love writing. I love showing my art. And in my future, I'll be pursuing filmmaking as a career. I will do this in any and every way I know how. My high school experience has shown me my true self and shown me my future as a writer and a filmmaker. Thank you all for giving me your time of day, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
Does anybody have any questions? Oh, we got one right there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on artificial intelligence in filmmaking?
I don't want it at all. I like doing it hands-on. I think it could help in some ways, but I do not believe that we should have actors and write movies based on it.
You think a risk to your career?
Yes.
Any particular genre?
No, right now I've made a couple short films and they've all been thriller, but making like short films is really easy to do a thriller movie because you rely on plot twists. I would like to not do that and expand my horizons once I get to high school and college.
So what college aspirations do you have?
I like to network as in there and just feel for the group. My high school career has not been rooted in filmmaking. My last 2 years have been because I've decided to go that route for like my entire life. But I would like to know more about Hollywood and international and just everything about filmmaking in general.
And what schools are you exploring?
This week, actually, my mother and I are visiting Boston, Emerson, and I'm trying to go from East Coast and West Coast. Not really West Coast. I don't really want to travel that farther out, but I'm seeing every school that is possible and that works for me.
All right. Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and jump right in with our speakers. I apologize, I don't have your bio unless we got the. Yep, she's going to come up and introduce you. Hold on one second. All right, excellent. Go to the next job. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. It's my pleasure this morning to introduce our guest speakers, Dave and Angela Cott. They are with Autism at Face Value. I got a chance to see a presentation that Dave had done for the team at YCCF, and I got to tell you, it's truly remarkable the work that he's doing in this space. So I'm happy to introduce them. I think Angela's going to kick it off, and they'll come and tell you about the cool work that they're doing.
Good morning, everyone. We're so grateful to be here today to share with you our service to York County. My name is Angela Cott. I'm the president of Autism at Face Value. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization based out of Dover Township, York County, Pennsylvania. And we're here today to tell you about what we do. And we seek strategic partnerships in our future research and development with like minds, as well as partners in fundraising collaborative for our community-sponsored events. But without further ado, I'm truly here to introduce you to our founder and our subject matter expert in therapeutically applied gaming, Dave Cott.
All apologies to respect the guests. I'm not a Thai guy. The work that I do often works with marginalized people in their communities. So Thais are, they're very to access. So I'm going to just kind of be up front. It seemed like yesterday that we featured the world's first comic book hero with autism. We were on the NBC Nightly News. We are to date the only comic book reviewed in an accredited medical journal for my doctoral research in teaching predictive empathy for autistic readers. We use the facial action coding system. It is a well-vetted, peer-reviewed way to understand. If I stood in front of you guys, you said, I don't want to walk away. Here we go. I won't. So I think I'm going to stop it here for just a second. But so a lot of what I do and working with people, facial action coding system. If I stood in front of you like, you don't need any specialized degree to predictably understand that I might feel angry. And if I say I'm angry, you've got a lot of context. I look angry. I tell you I'm angry, and you see that I flip the table and Dave's angry. What we do, that was the comic book that we had done. That set us up for global trends and distribution. We had a lot of international awards for autism advocacy. And since then, I've taken and applied a lot of my ideas as an autistic adult in the past, group therapist, inpatient, outpatient, individual therapist for great treatment therapy, core therapist. So I've been around doing a lot of group work with individuals. One thing that we're now doing is using tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, things like that, to break the ice for lots of young people. What does this look like? We offer affordable, accessible, preventative mental health care in the guise of metaphor. I look through history, looking at some of the best teachers who talked to people about some of the basic elements of life. You look at Jesus Christ, and he talked in metaphors. Buddha, also, other world religious leaders often used metaphors to drive home universal truths. Things like working and coping through depression and anxiety, and you're not alone. What we're able to do, and I'll try to flip through this, just switch on the side. There we go. And the 2 arrows, yep. Oh, yep. So what we do is we offer role-playing games. We offer the community work and partner with other groups, including outpatient, inpatient clinics, and small community areas, where we'll go down to our target audience, 6 to 8 players, and role play a game. We'll use miniatures, dice, maps, building an immersive mental world. Players can be whoever they want to be. You want to be the knight? Good. Maybe in school you got bullied a lot, so you do want to be the knight. Maybe you're the nerd, you're the bookworm. You want to play a wizard? Awesome. Whatever you want to be, think about it. Outside of what we're doing here, if you could be anybody you could want to be, who would it be? And who gives you that permission to do that? To have fun, to laugh, and throw some dice. That's what we did. And then we throw in those metaphors. What kind of metaphors, Dave? These metaphors are important because we have the social service gap. When you have lots of individuals, individuals on the autism spectrum, other neurodivergencies, when they're done with public school, a lot of them are toast. There are gaps in services that their insurances don't necessarily provide. And nobody's coming to check on these individuals who are 19, 20, trying to find a job. We stand in that gap. We're not reinventing the wheel. If you're familiar with brief treatment therapy, it's an evidence-based practice that uses individual therapy one-on-one with a practitioner for a moderate to low-risk out-of-home placement. This is not someone who is suicidal or homicidal. This is someone who is going through a terrible grief and loss. Grandma out in California passed. I need someone to work on that. How long would it take for Joe to work on his grief and loss of grandma who died in California and sees once a year? Maybe 6 to 8 weeks to get him a good perspective. And then we'll see where he is there. Let's give him that lifeline of a few weeks just to check in. And then we'll see if he needs more services or more help. We're able to go through that in a group paradigm. Think about it. What's one of the main barriers for individuals? The peer-reviewed literature shows us again and again. Why don't people go to therapy? Cost and wait lists. We found a way, because we're billing under this system, to be able to bill third-party insurance payers. We have been able to talk to providers in the area from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia that love what they're calling as emergent research, emergent theory, and what we're calling therapeutically applied role playing, TARP gaming groups. I can get 6 to 8 people to come in and talk about grief and loss for less per consumer cost for as equal or shorter duration than individual therapy, co-facilitated with a licensed social worker or other paraprofessional, and discharge individuals either to natural supports in the community or increased care. This is that preventative care gap. Now, what are we doing? Okay. What kind of games you play? Imagine you're a bunch of Vikings. I don't know how much you guys know about Viking mythology. Maybe passing ideas on Odin and Thor, right? You understand that? We take some of the Viking mythology about the death of Balder, and we went through in 5 to 6 sessions of a game, the same duration as 5 to 6 sessions of individual therapy. We went through the denial. See, in the game, you were all a bunch of Vikings. You're going through this harsh and survival and stuff, and you got cool wolf boots, and you got a wolf hat. It's awesome. And people are having cool ideas, and I followed this Norse god. Awesome. Go tell a cool story. That's great. Through the story, you come across the village. It's a shield maiden. She has survivor's guilt. All of her teammates perished. She feels she was denied Valhalla. You can help her. You also have to go feed this really bad monster. But you know that. That doesn't get it. And you can track it and find it and fight it, whatever. The story is helping this community leader get through their survivor's guilt. If you can help them understand they have purpose and meaning, they can clue you in on the blacksmith who has a cool sword for you later on, or the wizard over in the valley that has a magical spell. Nice, gives you some incentive to tell the story. If you don't help this individual, they reappear later on during the boss fight seeking martyrdom. Now how do you handle it? You've got this giant ogre covered in ice, got a giant club gonna kick your butt, and everybody at the table knows it. And then you have the leader stand up and say, I'm not feeling well. I'm not my best self. The only thing I have left to do is martyrdom. Where are your priorities? To fight the giant, to help your leader. There's the therapeutic value. There's where we have debriefing and processing at the end. How did that sit with you? How did it make you feel? What values could you say to that individual? Because that's skill transference. We can document that. So we go through stages. That's just Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's 5 stages of grief. I'm sure you guys are passively familiar with that. Anger, bargaining, depression, all that. If you want information more on the slides, I have them available. Meredith has them available. See if I can go on to the next group. Over the past year, we've been able to help autistic young individuals work through gender affirming care. They could be whoever they want. We started that conversation with individuals who already were trying to figure out their gender identities. We worked with them for that and made responsible ethical follow-ups. We're not going to go through that necessarily in the session, but we queue up these issues to see what further needs these individuals have. We work with a group of young ladies and scouts, setting up boundaries, safe boundaries, not just gaming boundaries of what's allowed to say, what words are said, but safe proximity, dating. Those are relationships, those are boundaries. Even in the game, we talked about those boundaries. How to talk about the young adults who were playing the Viking game, and we went through some of that. Interestingly enough, we also found a group of neurodivergent adults who work non-traditional jobs because they're autistic, they're neurodivergent, they're not finding a traditional 9-to-5, but they do have employment. They're underemployed, but they want to play. They want a social outlet. So we made some weird game schedules to include them as well. I'm just looking through everything here. So I think I've covered most of the stuff. The biggest thing is when our games, when we're done, when you're done with therapy, what do? Great, I'm responsible for self-maintenance. In our gaming groups, you can then go, we can refer you to additional therapies. We've got a lot of people we know, we trust. We can say, hey, this person over here is a good resource for you. You can continue to build connections, making friends, playing games, getting out. Can't tell you how many individuals in our gaming groups do not do anything social outside of gaming, maybe going to the store. Then you can engage the community. You just want to play D&D with me. But I'll tell you what, you get through working with me for over 6 to 8 weeks, you're going to know how to play D&D. You're going to be able to go into the comic book store, the hobby shop, and we're able even to help identify, again, underemployed individuals, taught them how to be a game master. They're getting games in the community as we speak. Well, it's probably not this early in the morning, but they're doing that in the community. The neat thing is the support from the community. We couldn't have done this without you guys. We stand at the precipice as this information has been shared professionally, academically, responsibly. We're now getting more and more interest. Imagine being able to take Dungeons and Dragons, little miniatures of a knight, a wizard, maybe a dragon, into a hospital playing with kids with cancer, distract them, give them something uplifting. That's something we're going to be talking about. Imagine being able to access adult day programming for neurodivergent adults, where they're learning those vocational skills. I don't know if you've ever sat through some of that. It doesn't take all day sometimes. And you need a stress valve. How about getting together as part of the program, therapeutic programming, play some D&D and talk about how you decompress and de-stress. Those kind of elements are setting ourselves up not only to continue replicating what we're doing in small groups in just the local community for autistic young adults, We can replicate that to other populations. We can scale that to include different sizes, offering different groups. Just, was it Sunday, Angie? I think we were able to, it's a mixed bag. We have our first wait list because we have groups filled. And that's where we are. And the fact that we can get third-party insurance payers insulates us against the constant philanthropic ask. We see some issues. There are some schools, I can't build during school, so I might need some help in that way. That's why, as Angie said, we're looking for strategic partnerships. We're looking at ways we can apply what we're doing. When you ask about how big our team is, we've got maybe 20 people that help volunteer. When you ask how big our team is that actually does stuff, I don't know what I don't know, but I know we've got something good. It's not just an idea. It's not just a theory. It's a movement to get more people affordable, accessible, preventative mental health care. And that is probably the best thing I can offer you today. I know, regardless of however you may view the world, we all need some good news. Our program has been successful. It's in demand. We have a 90% return rate because people want to come back and play games. What is this like, Dave? I'll let you finish up in 1 minute and then I'll wrap up that sort of questions. You guys remember the old, I'm going to the store. I'm going to buy an apple, right? And then I'm going to buy a banana. Cool. Meredith, what are you buying? I got an apple, banana. See where we're going here?
I'm gonna get a tasty cake.
Okay. Nope. The dice said there's no tasty cakes available. What are you going to do now?
I guess I'm gonna get a candy bar instead.
Candy bar. That works out good now in that situation. Knowing Meredith. Some of you, like Blair, might come up and say, hey, I know you did these cakes. Are you feeling okay? Check in, talk, debrief, follow, and that's just going to the store and stuff. Add aliens, robots, zombies. You got a whole big kind of a fun story for everything. I don't care. I'm here. You know where I am. You hear me. That is what we are doing. That is the future of where we're going. And again, I thank you very humbly. Did not have done this without more partners and a bigger look on the eyes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave.
How many people do you serve on a regular basis?
Each group is about 6 to 8 individuals, and we are currently now at 12 groups-ish, and that rotates out. Again, with attrition, you figure you've got participation rate 6 to 8 weeks. Sometimes that can be weekly, sometimes that can be bi-weekly. So once those groups done, we rotated another group, and we can have Vikings for one group. I just recently backed a Kickstarter that is working on a Mesoamerican vibe. And part of the Kickstarter pledge was I gave them all the demographic information for York, and they're going to be coming with some specific magic item to represent anti-violence in the Latino community in York.
What age? What age do you serve?
It is, can you spell sword? If you can spell sword and read on a normal D6 die, you're educationally okay. I can work with that. For example, York Learning Center wants me to come in and talk about adaptions for their groups. Don't have no idea what that's going to look like. But I know I'm going to have other professionals and my experience in group to make those accommodations.
More often than not, it's 12 and up. That's what seeks it out because they're the ones finding the interest and curious about it. Our largest groups right now are young adults, so it would be like 18 to 30 because that's where the service gap lies. So it makes sense that they're looking for something different, and they're the ones on the wait lists.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay. The repeated theme is the service gap. So that's 18 to 30. What picks up after after that 30-year age that it's, that what picks up after?
Typically, what you'll see is you'll have employment opportunities by 30, or you'll be part of the system that offers educational or vocational assistance. And once you're a part of that system, other gears will start turning when you're more of an adult. But when you have the young kids, okay, he's 18, and are still going to go to 25 on mom and dad's insurance. What about state insurance? Oh, you don't qualify for disability because you do this, you do that. Though that's that murky area. That's where applying case management typically goes away. Like for the one Viking game had a young individual. It's like we're talking about one of the characters, death, dying, loss. He's like, nobody has ever talked to us about death and dying now since we graduated. And one of the other players said, yeah, that's right. I went to a funeral on the same day I went to graduation and nobody said anything about it. No one, once they're done with the school, there's not much for them unless they demonstrate significant need. Does that kind of help?
Yeah.
It's difficult navigating with dynamic disabilities. That's what our neurodivergent population largely has. You have young adults that demonstrate the capability to navigate, but they still need a lot of support that's not obvious. And there's the gap that there's organizations say, well, why don't they take the extra days in the extra years in school? So the school district should be paying for services for them. But if they're graduated, that goes away. And then the social services industry is saying, well, if they were good enough to graduate, well, they shouldn't need any more additional support. So we've got this quagmire of who's going to pay to support these individuals with dynamic disabilities and dynamic support needs. And we're just one little organization offering one thing, because we know that social deficits are largely in the forefront that create barriers for this population. And if we can help them navigate social situations better, then maybe they won't get turned down on so many job opportunities. Maybe they'll get along with their coworkers so they don't jeopardize the current jobs that they have. Or maybe they'll simply be able to get through a conversation to even be considered for a placement somewhere.
To the one point, we have a young man that just recently joined. He was our last sign-in for a neurodivergent young adult. And their big claim, the question, how will I sit, like literally sit with girls at the table? Nobody's talked to him about it. This is not dating, this isn't flirtation. Their programming through high school segregated them. They didn't have many experiences dealing with female students. Now they're going to play a game with girls and maybe get cooties. I don't know. But this is all new to them. Young adults sitting at a table with the opposite sex. That's where we are. We meet people where they are and help build up their strengths. Other questions? I will be available at the table. I'm pretty tall. Fine. Throw something at me. Scan our QR code. The biggest thing about the academics and the rigors and the ethics behind it. Going to be publishing the research we have done. Going to be looking to talk to hospitals in our local area to help flesh out their services. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of cool things, and your ideas of Dungeons and Dragons and dice gaming hopefully have been changed and transformed, and hopefully how you look at another individual with autism also changes for the better. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Dave, for your presentation. It was very interesting. And I think I speak for the group when we say best of luck. You're doing great work. Keep it up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As a thank you, we have a book for you to choose. It's a children's book that will be donated to either the children's programs at Children's Aid Society or the YWCA. So be sure to choose your book before you go.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. All right. I think we're at the end of our meeting and we are adjourned. See you next week, everybody. Have a great week.